What's happening, Canopy Growth traders and investors? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today's Monday. It's another struggle out there today, March 31st. Hope you had a great weekend, though. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Canopy Growth stock. We dipped back under $1, so we're back into reverse split territory, and we're going to be talking about the possibility of Canopy Growth doing a second reverse split. We know they already did a 1 for 10 reverse split. It's very possible Aurora did a 1 for 12 and then they did a second 1 for 10. Anything's possible at this point in the sector, but well, it's been brutal. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future content. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And I do own Canopy Growth in my portfolio. It's not a huge chunk of my portfolio. I'll have to do another update video at some point soon. And I am working with a new startup as well. I got some exciting updates with regards to a new startup, an app that's going to be tracking portfolios in real time. Excited to share that with everybody. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. I did add some Canopy Growth today under $1. And if you factor in the split, this is actually a 9-cent stock. Let that sink in for a moment. This used to be, and we're talking pre-split, before they did a split, this stock used to be a $60 stock. So if we just zoom out here to the monthly time frame, reset this, you can see the all-time high now is $592. If you divide that by 10, since there was a reverse split, number of shares go down, price goes up. Regular stock split, price goes down, shares go up. Pie gets bigger. So this cuts the amount of shares, but increases the price so they maintain their listing, right? A lot of people saying they're going to get delisted. Same thing with Tilray. No, that's not the case in my opinion. They can always do a reverse split, and they would have to be given a warning again, and then they're given 180 days, just like Tilray just got, and then they could get an extension, which could be another 180 days. So realistically, they have a whole year, Tilray, to regain compliance. Same thing if Canopy were to be given a warning, but now that the timer starts again, they're back under $1. So if it happens for 30 days, they get the warning, then 180 days, they could get the extension. You know, you're looking at 6 months to a year. And like I said, they more than likely won't get delisted. It'll just be another reverse split similar to what Aurora did. So if you just go here to Aurora and look at back in 2020, they did a 1 for 12 and then they did a 1 for 10. And the new all-time high on Aurora is $1,500, right? So that's pretty crazy and wild to think about. But if it happened to Aurora, it can absolutely happen to CGC. And you just have to take a moment of silence as well. And if you're down on CGC, there's a lot of people who got it worse, more than likely, right? This used to be a $60 stock pre-split, and pre-split the price would now be at 9 cents. That's pretty crazy to think about. The only thing that I've ever seen similar to this has been crypto, and you would expect it to be worse with MJ though, because it's still federally illegal in the US. There was a lot of uncertainty with regards to regulatory clarity in the US for crypto. That seems to be coming to an end now. And then I think after big tech, crypto AI tops out, we're going to see MJ rotational play and it'll benefit. But similar scenario, really. There's no real clear rules of the road for crypto, and we're seeing that now. And I think it won't be too long after where we get regulatory changes and reform in the US for MJ. But you have to remember, a lot of this happened with the early days of the internet as well, with the Telecommunications Act, right? And the early days of the internet, I think it was in 1996. Essentially, they had clear rules of the road and regulatory. They drafted regulatory rules of the road, essentially, and laws. And then they were given the green light and the clarity that they needed. And then from 1996 to 2000 is when they hit the dot-com boom and bust, right? So, and then even Amazon dropped 95% in a bear market, but CGC down, over 99% from its all-time high is pretty wild to think about. But we'll take a look at the bearish continuation pattern here. We had a descending triangle here on the daily time frame. It did confirm. We also had a bear flag targeting 98 cents. I mentioned that multiple times. It confirmed. And then we confirm the descending triangle as well, and then you just take your measured move there from the apex from the descending triangle, and you move it out to your point where it broke out, and that gives you your measured move here of about 82 cents. We hit 88 cents today, so in terms of percentage, we were only a little over 6% away. So very possible that we do see 82 cents. Like I said, I did add some Canopy Growth today. I've just been very slow, very patient adding, and I said I would add it under $1, and I think I filled somewhere around 90 cents today. And we closed the day at 91 cents. But as you can see, a sea of red out there today. CXXI, IIPR, PLTH, CDC leading the decline. IIPR had three big companies default on their payments. So the stock has been absolutely crushed. And that's actually a weekly bear flag I mentioned this on X and in the POW Group private community today. We were discussing it. It confirmed the weekly bear flag today with follow through, and we hit a low of the day today was 49.51, and we had the bear flag target of 44. People thought I was crazy. People think I'm crazy when I say that this could happen, but it can always go lower. It can go lower than you think, and even lower than that. And in terms of percentage, there we came within about a little over 10% away from that target. So still, in my opinion, going to be weak. The S&P 500 was weak today. We're just flatlining essentially here on the weekly time frame. We're below the 10-week moving average. We are potentially seeing a bull cross of the stochastic MACDs. You could say it's bullish at the moment, but still some work to do. And in terms of the weekly moving averages, we're well below all of those. I will expect a pretty big move at some point soon. I think, with April 20th, 420 just approaching, not even a month away, we could see some updates with regards to rescheduling. There was an op-ed from Matt Gates. Check out my video on that. I do think that rescheduling is more than likely going to happen at some point in 2025. It might not get enacted, but we should get the announcement. And then, safe banking, I think, that makes a lot of sense. As I said in previous videos, if they do rescheduling, that's the pro common sense side of the new administration, right? They're taking, and it's promises made, promises kept. They mentioned that they wanted to get some reform done, especially with regards to rescheduling and banking. So I would expect at some point in 2025, if not 2026 at the latest, I think worst case scenario is we're going to either get one of those two things, rescheduling or banking, and possible that we get both, right? But pro common sense is the scientific point of it, rescheduling, right? Follow the science. Pro business is the banking side of things, making the U.S. the capital of the world, the biggest economy of the world, and that makes a whole lot of sense from a business perspective, creating more jobs, cutting tax spending, right? With enforcement actions from the DEA, right? If it was no longer Schedule 1 and we legalize it, it's medicine, right? It's medicine of the future. And then pro the American people, giving the people what they want. Over 80% of America and American citizens want it legal in some form or another, either medical or recreational. So give the people what they want. I think that'll be the attempt to deschedule and then full-blown legalization. But a lot of work to do here in terms of the weekly moving averages, still well below those, all below the daily moving averages as well. But the thing with these moving averages is that we usually gravitate back towards them, right? We get extended to the upside, rational exuberance to the upside, and then the downside. And we usually gravitate back towards it, test it as resistance, get above it, try to confirm it as support. Here we failed. We went for the back test, and then we flipped it back into resistance. And right here was the nail in the coffin, essentially, right? Where we're back under $1. Reverse split is very, very much in the cards again. There's definitely a possibility that they regain compliance on their own. I don't think it's the end of the world. Like I said, Aurora has already done a 1 for 12 and then a second 1 for 10, and they posted great earnings last quarter, and everybody was loving them all of a sudden, right? People tend to forget very quickly, and most people I talked to that I said they did 2 reverse splits, they didn't even know, right? And I mentioned that it doesn't matter how good their earnings are, this pump will more than likely be faded, and sure enough, it was a mountain pattern, right? Right up, elevator down. There was no support. Sector was still bearish. Doesn't matter if you have good earnings, you might see a quick pop, but it's not going to sustain itself, right? Until the whole sector is in a bull market. Look at GTI, right? Green Thumb Industries. It's had stellar performance, stellar earnings since forever, right? And the stock is down 66% since April of last year, right? So it doesn't matter if you have great earnings, if you're profitable, not profitable, MSO, LP, retailer, doesn't matter. If you're an MJ stock, you're lumped in that category, and your stock is more than likely down 80 to 90% plus from all-time highs. But don't worry, I do think that MJ is going to be in the spotlight here in the next, think of that 100-day promise. We're a couple months away, essentially. We're 3 months in. Q2 starts tomorrow, brand new month, brand new quarter. I think we're going to see some sort of announcement with regards to MJ and how the new administration is going to tackle it. But smash the like if you're excited about that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything that I mentioned in this video. We'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. It's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll catch you on the next one.